So my sister collects nativity scenes for Christmas, and so we're going to make one today. Hopefully we're going to use some acrylic and some wood and some LEDs. This is a sheet of 3/8 acrylic, cast acrylic, and I'm just using carpet tape to hold it down to my wasteboard. The paper is still on both sides of the acrylic. We're going to carve it that way, trying to protect the surface as much as we can. And we're going to carve it super fast and just etch it just barely on the surface, so that we don't have to go very deep, and trying to keep the acrylic from remelting into the spot. So let's see how it goes. Okay, we're going to work on the base of the nativity. What I have here is a block of koa wood from Hawaii, and it's about 1.5 inches wide by 1 inch thick, 7.5 inches long. Now what I want to do, we got to find a place to insert the LED lights. So we're going to cut this thing in half, then we'll carve out a groove inside for the LED lights and carve out a groove for the acrylic to go into. Then we will glue it back together once the LEDs are inside, so that we have our block here to use as our base for the nativity. So let's go ahead and cut it in half. There we go. Let's get started with carving. Okay, just a quick word about design here. So what you're seeing is, it's not great quality because I'm just shooting the camera at my computer screen here. This is the Carve Design in easel for the top part of the nativity base. Basically, we're going to cut a groove in there that is just thick enough for the acrylic to slide in there, and it goes down about 1/2 inch, and then it gets narrower and goes all the way through the bottom. So basically it's going to create a little 1/4 inch shelf on each side for the sides of the acrylic to sit on. Then there'll be a gap underneath that where the LED lights will be poking up, so that the acrylic isn't sitting right on the LED. And we'll carve out the bottom to leave a space for the cord and the wires for the LED to come out and things like that. So this is for the top. We're going to carve this out now, but for when you do this, my cut files are going to be available in easel. You can use my design, but you're going to want to adjust it a little bit for exactly the thickness of your material and exactly the thickness of the acrylic that you decide to use. We use 3/8 inch acrylic, but that's nominal, so you got to measure it, get it exactly the right thickness, give it just a little bit of extra space for the acrylic so it can slide in there nicely. So you're going to have to make some adjustments when you make one of these, an edgelit LED sign for yourself. So we have an 1/8 inch bit to carve this out. It's just a simple slot. We've secured this koa piece down with just carpet tape on the bottom. I have everything in position. It carves. Koa is pretty hard wood, so it's going to carve pretty slow. It'll take a while to carve all the way through this thing. So we'll speed up the video here and probably cut some of the carving out so we can get through it here. Let's go. So I actually carved a tiny bit deeper than I needed to into my wasteboard here, but I guess that's why we have wasteboards. So here's the finished piece. I wanted to show you up close here This is what I'm talking about. There's a little ledge in there. See, the acrylic will go in this slot here. There's that little ledge in there that will stop it from going all the way through. But the LED lights are going to shine up through this gap. So we need to carve a bottom piece here for the LEDs to set on and have the wiring go through the side, and then we'll glue the two pieces together and the base will be all done after a little bit of sanding and finishing. So let's get to that. Okay, this time we're on the bottom half of the base of the sign that we're making. This is what we cut off. Remember, we cut the base in half on the table saw, but it really wasn't in half. The other piece was about maybe just shy of 3/4 of an inch thick. This one's about 1/4 of an inch thick. We're just going to carve a little pocket for the electronics and a little path for the wire to come out the side, and that's it. We're not carving all the way through. Then we'll be able to install the electronics, glue this to the other piece, and turn it back into one thing where all the LED lights will just be inside. They'll be able to shine up through the hole that we made in the other piece and light the sign. So this one will be a pretty quick carve. Still an 1/8 inch bit, but it's not going very deep, just deep enough for the electronics. And actually we have the wire off of the LEDs that we're using comes off a little bit diagonal, so I actually made the exit hole for the wire come off diagonally as well. So you kind of, again, watch the design based on exactly the material and the equipment that you are using for your sign. You'll have to make some adjustments. Okay, all the pieces are made now, so let's kind of go through how the assembly is going to work. This is an LED strip that I just got from Amazon. It comes in a big roll and you cut it to the length you want. I've cut it so there are 9 LEDs still on here. You know, it's about 6 inches. And then it's attached to this wire here. So this is the base of our Nativity that we put a groove in. It doesn't go all the way through. These LEDs go right into that groove that we cut there. Just like that. And because this wire, and I'll bring it in close so you can see, this wire comes off at a little bit of an angle. That's why I cut this groove off at an angle here also. So when we put these LED lights in here, that wire is going to come right out that groove that we cut in the base. So now we've got the LEDs in there, and we'll, you know, there's a 3M double-sided tape strip on the back of the LEDs. We'll be able to stick them in there really easily. Then this is the slot that has the 2 little shelves for the acrylic to sit on, and we'll glue the bottom of that right onto that. So this is where we cut it off before, and it'll just glue right back onto that. And then what we'll have on this side is just a power cord that comes right out, and the adapter that came with this light strip kit plugs right into that. So we'll have this, the LEDs down in there, but they will have this shelf above so the acrylic doesn't actually touch the LEDs when they're in there. Then this is our acrylic piece that we carved before, and it will fit right into that slot, and it fits nice and snug, but it goes right in there, sits on the shelf on the sides there, and lets the LEDs shine right through. So that'll be it. We'll have this glued together, then we're going to sand it all and finish it nicely with some spray lacquer. We'll put this back in and plug it in, and we'll show you what we have here. Alright, this is the finished product. So quick recap, basically we took a piece of 3/8 inch cast acrylic in a 4x6 inch size, and we carved into that the image that you're seeing here. And remember, this principle would be the same for any edge-lit acrylic sign with LEDs that you wanted to make. I just wanted to make this a Christmas decoration, so there's a nativity scene there. And for acrylic, we carved it super shallow and at a very high rate of speed so that it wouldn't melt in and get in the way and cause problems in the carving, and it worked really well. Then just a block of koa that we cut in half here, carved out the inside with the files that will be available on Inventables.com, and then we put the electronics in, glued it back together, some sanding, and finish it with a few coats of spray lacquer, and here we go. So the LEDs are in there, and there's a remote control for this LED set that you can see here. So there's all kinds of things that it can do, but I don't know that I'll really want to use any of the various flashing possibilities for this one or not, but I think that you get the idea. If you were doing some other sign, you might want to use colored LEDs or flashing or whatever. So this is it. I'm going to send it to my sister. She's already seen a picture of it and is excited to get it. She's got a collection of nativity scenes, and this is going to be a good addition to her collection. And if you want to make an edge-lit LED sign, then hopefully this video has helped you out. We'll see you guys next time.